In 2007, Two Girls, One Cup took the internet by storm. In 2026, today, I present to you two guys, two horror movie classics. There won't be any cups. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Brett Hayes.
And I am Steven with a PH, and this is Horror and the Hater, the podcast where we take horror movie classics, cult classics, and really anything from the genre and break it down from you from a couple different perspectives. So, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're actually going to be covering something that may have spawned this podcast from a horror movie that we watched back whenever we were roommates. But
Yeah, we'll jump right into the first one though. We're gonna leave that one for last. The first movie we want to talk about today is the awesome Rick Baker, John Landis flick, American Werewolf in London, 1981, runtime of an hour and 37 minutes. Uh, where do you even start? The director, John Landis, he's worked everywhere. He's worked on everything from, obviously horror movies to Michael Jackson's Thriller, to what I think he did some comedies as well. So he's been all over the place. And then of course Rick Baker. There's no one else to talk about. When the first name that you remember when you even hear American Werewolf in London is Rick Baker. I went to one of the Fangoria monthly screenings this past week, and that was the movie that played, and he did a little excerpt at the end of it. That was about a half hour long, and it's always really cool to see somebody that I guess you could really call, I wouldn't say the master of horror because that title's been taken, but definitely one of those guys that without him, who knows if you have the rest of it. Rick Baker and Tom Savini, those are kind of the guys you go to when you have
you
all
could still
the
call him a
special
master.
effects. I mean, yeah, he definitely is, right? He
Yeah.
is a master.
What is it,
But
like 10,000 hours?
there you go. I mean, one of the cool things is this movie did win an Oscar. It was for Best Makeup, and it was the first year that they ever did it. So the Academy Awards, they threw it out there, and what a year for American Werewolf in London to come out. He's has gone on since to win six more Oscars in that same category. So makeup or visual effects, So yeah, dude's sitting at seven total Oscars. We get to see the first of those on this one, and he puts it on full display here. There's really just one or two notable actors, I guess, that I kind of want to talk about. David Schofield. If you've ever seen American Werewolf in London, and if you haven't, go watch it first. But he is the guy like throwing darts on the board. He's like, I ain't never missed that board. Or whatever he says when they come in and they start asking about the pentagram.
Was that guy the inspiration for Daredevil's Bullseye villain
It's
much later?
right. Yeah, Colin Farrell did a great David Schofield. Uh,
That's
yeah,
immediately who I thought of whenever that
right.
scene happened.
If he's one of those guys that you're looking at and you're like, man, I know the face, but I don't know from where. Gladiator, a little movie called Gladiator, and then a couple of the Pirates of the Caribbean films, or Caribbean,
One of the two.
Car
I think it's Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean, but it's a Caribbean cruise.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Okay, it's whatever you feel like it is at the moment that you say it. Until somebody else corrects you, which will be every single time. Another person that I want to bring up light to is Lila Kay. Uh, I don't know a ton of her films, but I was like, who is that? And I've seen Invisible Man before, so when I saw this one, I was like, ah, gotcha. And the last one is a big one actually. It's Frank Oz. You might be sitting there being like Frank Oz, like so he's the guy that comes in and like wakes up David after David's been in this coma for I can't even remember. I think it was 3 weeks or something like that. Like it was an extremely long time for him to not lose any muscle mass. That's what I remember. But he's actually the dude that gets credited for bringing a bunch of the characters to the Muppet Show, to Sesame Street, and freaking Yoda from Star Wars. So
Yeah.
you gotta
Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy are credited in this film as playing themselves.
there you go. And I mean, so that was really cool to just see because I didn't recognize him, of course, when I saw him. So just a little for your information. But the budget on this movie was 5.8 million. They made 62 million on it. So big time. It was the highest grossing horror movie that year, obviously. And just real quick, it's really just about my summary of this movie is there's two guys, David and Jack, and they want to go backpack Europe. Um, Obviously they get dropped off. They meet some people at a weird place. It's raining. They pretty much tell them to get lost. And then unfortunately, one of them meets their end, and the other one is brutally mauled. And then you have this like chain of events where he thinks he's going crazy, and they're talking about this beast, and then all of a sudden, believe it or not, you got a werewolf running around London. So it's a really fun film. Uh, for me, you always take the acting from the 80s with a grain of salt because it seems that a lot of the movies are over the top. Um, I like it for the most part in this one. I actually think Jack's character, the one that dies of the two backpackers, is really good in the movie. I think the nurse Alex is really great, and the doctor is really great as well. Um, David, the lead, I mean, he was good. He was good. I don't know that he wasn't the
He has some
strongest.
memorable lines.
He's got some memorable lines, so
But
and
no,
I'll
I
let.
agree. Jack did his performance was one that like I almost enjoyed whenever I saw him on screen. So
Yeah,
yeah, there will be spoilers for this. We're gonna be going through these movies and talking about them. So if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. It's an hour and a half. We're not asking you to watch Midsummer
right.
this week, okay?
Again,
Or two variations of Street Trash. We're not gonna
oh.
put you through that. These
No,
are
today
bearable.
today we got heavy hitters. I mean, and this one, I'm telling you, like the to this day, I know that when you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that werewolf's obviously fake. Well, werewolves aren't real. So I don't know what to tell you, but this still looks like a really acceptable and great werewolf, even compared to what we get to today, especially considering most of what we get is CGI werewolf, and it looks
Yeah.
cartoonish and
Now,
silly.
granted, the prosthetics are a little bit limited with like range of motion and stuff like that.
Sure.
It is a product of its time. But like one of the things that I did appreciate about the movie, before we get into some of my gripes are just like the that first change scene where they like went to they took some time with it and like used the cuts to actually show like a transformation
Oh
instead
yeah.
of just like oh, and then you come
Yeah.
back up a werewolf.
Right.
Um, so I did appreciate that they went and that that was just like that was hours to shoot that 30-second or whatever it was minute long scene of just like constantly reapplying different layers of prosthetics and like
Sure.
different levels and then take and so props to the crew and the makeup department on that one. They really pulled their weight in this film for sure.
Right. And like I said earlier, recognized for it. Got that first
Yeah.
Academy Award nod. So yeah, really incredible. And also, I mean, like it's not just that. I mean, that's what people are going to talk about. They're like, "Oh, the werewolf. It looks awesome," and it does. It deserves all of the admonishment and stuff like that. The one thing that I thought was awesome was every time Jack was coming back and that like flesh that's hanging off of him and uh I mean you can obviously see the zombies from Thriller in that right there. That's like the proof of concept almost. But yeah, it looks great to me. A lot of the gore is done really well in this film. The characters are interesting enough, even though I'm not like crazy about David's character. I still thought he was good. Like I'm not saying that he was bad in any way, shape, or form. Really, he just did a lot of overacting when the rest of the cast was like down here, and he's like, "I'm up here," and I was like, "All right, man, enjoy that."
It's like
So
Maybe climb your way up there,
Well,
Oh,
so at the beginning he was really chill, and then he just woke up from the coma, and it was like, well, you know what? Now I'm being too harsh. The dude was in a coma for 3 weeks, and he comes back a little bit crazy. All right,
yeah.
okay,
Okay.
It-
Yeah, we'll give him a break.
that one's on me. So what about you? What's this movie to you?
Yeah, so um my general summary of this movie is two friends, best friends, backpacking in Europe. They actually do have great banter as they ride on sheep trucks and hike their way through the plains of England. I come across a sleepy little pub where they are immediately greeted by the strangest look from the locals in that pub.
Mm,
Dead silence.
yeah.
The dart players stopping their game of darts. Every eye on in the pub on them. They sit down, they order some tea, they notice a pentagram on the wall, and they ask about it, making
Huh.
get the patrons of the club or at the pub even weirder towards them. They
I'm not
leave with
sure
a
they could really get any weirder because the moment they walked in, pin drop. I mean, nobody said
yeah,
anything to anybody.
like no hello there, no it's no classic, British greeting. No can I get you a cup of tea? Nothing. It was just blank
Nope.
stares
Right. They weren't even
and
side-eyeing. You know, in most movies or settings, people are like side-eyeing the people walking in. These people were just
yeah,
like stone cold
we're
staring at him
full,
like,
both eyes locked in. Uh yeah, so they leave the bar with the warning to beware the moon, lads. And they run off into the
oh.
night. They were also given instructions to stay on the roads and just like and so the general creepy tenor, you might want to watch yourself. They immediately run off the road into a field uh, at night in a strange country before Google Maps was invented.
Sure.
And then after the howls coming closer and closer emerge up onto they get one of the guys gets eaten. They're it's yeah. So a guy gets
Well,
eaten, a guy's dead, and you see the villagers actually save them by shooting the werewolf. You wonder, do they have the silver bullets just locked and loaded, ready to go?
I don't know if they roll by the werewolf like silver bullet have to kill you, but
That's
I
one
do
of
know
the
this.
things that I was like, there's no lore other than the pentagram. Like
All
it's
I
just
know
the
is this.
pentagram, and
Those
then
guys, they could have saved them 5 minutes earlier when they're having
they
like their will we, won't we save them?
they could have just been like, "Hey guys, there's werewolves out there. Like, don't go out there. Like,
Right.
just don't go out there."
You will
And
not be saved by the
but
patrons of the
no.
slaughtered lamb.
At first, I was having flashbacks to Midsummer. I was like, "Is this some kind of like sacrifice that the town has to do, where like, some stranger passes through and they sacrifice him to the werewolf to appease him for the next year or so?"
Hmm.
I didn't know, but there was actually surprisingly little lore in this movie. We flash forward to David waking up in a hospital with a couple of pretty good looking nurses, a doctor, and then a creepy ambassador from the US Embassy, who is super famous. But David is released from the hospital. He's having flashbacks and dreams of his buddy Jack. His buddy Jack shows up to him in a dream, just all clawed up, dead, but undead, talking to him as if it was just another day on their trip. Uh, David is convinced he's a werewolf, almost certainly, and he is letting this be known to the hospital. The hospital does not commit him, and instead is like, you should leave this hospital.
You need fresh
I
air.
know, I know that you are a foreigner in this land, and it's a miracle that you even have your passport. Like, don't know how that happened mid wolf attack. But we're going to release you into a foreign country. The nurse decides to take him in, if for no other reason than Nurses are horny, apparently. This is just playing into the stereotype of these just like slutty nurses. They're
No, it's because he's got the beast within him, he's got all that prowess now.
girls like a bad boy, apparently.
You're right, right.
So this nurse is like, "Hey, don't worry. I'll let you stay at my place." He gets there. He's like, "Oh, there's one bed. Do you want me to sleep on the couch?" She says, "No, I don't want you to sleep on the couch." Um, so they get together, have a fun evening. She goes back to work and he transforms into a werewolf, just like he said he would.
Yeah.
And then terrorizes the streets of London, racks up 6 bodies, I believe, on his first night out.
What'd you think about
Um,
the chase scene in the subway?
chase scene in the subway. The chase scene in the subway was really funny because the guy. Let me see, where is this in my notes? But the guy that's getting chased in the subway is just like, "I report this," and that's his entire defense.
Well,
It's like the
yeah,
most
but
British defense ever. He's just like, "How dare you! I'll report this to the authorities." And then just proceeds to have the worst cardio in the world.
oh,
Um, I mean, I get it. Also, what kind of like labyrinth of a subway tunnel does London have? Like it's that seems like
never-ending halls. I'll tell you that.
yeah, it was like just it was like the screensaver where you just keep turning left and right and
Right.
um so that was it almost felt well deserved because he just seemed really pompous. He seemed full of himself and he seemed like he needed to be taken down a peg.
Okay.
Um
So he was
so
destined. That's what you're saying.
I didn't mind about him. The
I
people that were getting ready for the party, it's like, God, it looked like they were gonna have
Yeah.
a fun night. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe play some board games or
Hate to see
do
it.
other British stuff. I don't know.
Other British
Um,
stuff. Tea time.
but but uh but yeah, so then after after David wakes up in a zoo, steals I did like the balloon scene. Um balloons, that was a funny bit of brevity.
What does the kid say to his mom? They
He
make it
says,
American.
let me see, because I wrote down
Oh, you wrote this one down.
I wrote this one down as well. Um he said, "A naked American man stole my balloons."
And she's not phased. She's like, yeah, that
She's just
happens.
like,
What are you gonna do?
"What? No, who stole your a naked American man stole my balloons?" She doesn't believe him. And then he steals a coat from a lady. That was, I think, honestly, that was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Was just the old couple sitting on a bench, and he
Right.
just runs by, grabs the coat, and runs off. Uh, so that was really good. Then they get back. He is even more convinced that he is a werewolf, but
Yeah.
he's also pretty horny for the nurse now too. So he's
Yeah.
not really as on the werewolf thing. He's more of on the nurse thing. Now the doctor and the nurse, they're more of on the werewolf thing. The
Yeah.
doctor travels to the town to
Oh yeah.
talk to these villagers who are super mysterious, except for one who spills the beans. He goes back, still a little bit skeptical, until they get reports of a werewolf just tearing through the streets of London. Um, yeah, David even tries to get himself arrested so that this won't happen to him. And the nurse does not listen. She's like,
No.
"No, we don't. No, it's gonna be fine. It's all good." Spoiler alert: it wasn't good. Um, then we venture in. We see Jack one final time in his final state of deep composition. Uh, they go to have their final chat in a porno theater,
Yeah.
um, which it was kind of funny that like the porno just kept getting interrupted. Like they had the phone just randomly ring, and she's like, "Hello."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh no, you have the wrong number. Sorry, bye." And then just back.
Right.
So I did love the little bit of comedy
Oh yeah.
that was thrown into this movie. But then you get to meet all the other people that David killed, and they are ready to be released from the spirit world and
Right.
released on their final journey. And so they're like, dude, you got to do it. You got to end it. The werewolf
Hmm.
line dies, then then we all get to pass into the beyond. Now, granted, you got scratched by a werewolf, and it turned you into a werewolf. So who
Right.
knows how this werewolf line passes on? Who knows how many
Well,
other werewolves there are out there?
now Jack makes it seem as though, hey, like you are the only one right now. You're the last
Yeah,
one. So if you do this, if you take yourself out, not only will there not be any more werewolves, but all of us that are stuck in, I guess, limbo. I can't remember what he said. Well, I
yeah,
think it was limbo. Get to be released. So
limbo, purgatory, something like that.
right, right.
But anyway, in the middle of the theater,
Hmm.
David turns and becomes
Oh
a
yeah.
werewolf, which honestly is probably one of the most embarrassing places to Hulk out and become a werewolf because you start making a lot of weird grunts, which is you know
So
that's
funny.
that's probably not the place to make a lot of weird grunts.
Weren't the people like kind
Luckily,
of looking back?
luckily, all the people in there are dead immediately, so no witnesses, no embarrassment. You're good.
There you go.
Um, David then goes on a tear throughout the rest of the city of London. He's cornered by the police eventually. Um, they chase him down as he runs through everything. The only thing that is weird about this is that I think that the 15 car pileup in the middle of the street killed more people than David did as a werewolf. I think it's got more bodies. We'll have to go back and check the death counter on that one. But people, they were just crashing into each other and just taking each other out with cars. And I was like, wow, we're getting a lot of vehicular manslaughter and not a whole lot of wolf slaughter. Um, but anyway, David continues his killing spree, only to be stopped by the nurse in an alleyway, who seems to be talking him down, taming the beast within him, when he is abruptly shot by the police officers and killed. We then see the nurse burst into tears as her true love was gunned down in the streets, and we pan up. Now, did everyone get released from limbo? Was there another werewolf out there? Did they need help from the townspeople to get? We don't know. It just the movie ends right there. That's it. That's the end of the movie. The werewolf dies, and then okay, we're done with the movie. No, no, no loose ends to tie up here. No,
So
nothing.
I'm starting to feel that we have some anger
Snark.
of this
It was
ending.
just like, oh, we're done. Like we don't get like there's nothing coming in. We don't get any kind of wrap a bow on this thing. But also that was one of the things that I wondered. I was like, did he kill everyone, or did he injure someone and turn them into a werewolf? Is that all that has to happen for you to turn into a? I had so many questions, and none of them were answered. Um,
None. Okay.
but it's okay. We had some fun along the way, I guess. Yeah.
Is there anything else that kind of you weren't into in the movie, or are you feeling mostly positive about what you saw? What's it like to see a classic movie that probably every horror fan has already seen? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's one of those. I think it's kind of when you go watch any older movie, like at this point, this movie's over 50 years old. So it's kind of just seeing the previous generation as a theater kid, growing up, like I really do appreciate the stuff like the good effects and the prosthetics and stuff like that. So I had fun with it. It was definitely a fun movie, but there
Okay.
were just some parts that left me wanting, and that I was like, there you could have cleaned this up, but maybe that's a thing of old movies and not necessarily just the horror movie genre. Um, so yeah, I would have liked a little resolution at the end, but it seems that the abrupt ending is a theme of these horror movies.
I mean, not all of them are like that. Some might linger on the ending too much, but For this one, it is that style that while normally I would be like, oh, come on, man, like what happened to this character? Why did we never hear from his family? Or what, doctor, does he go crazy? Do people think he's a kook and throw him out? That kind of stuff doesn't bother me in this film because I'm like, oh, yeah, everything that I imagine everything that he said was true is true, and it's a straightforward, hey, like you just need to kill that bloodline of werewolves now. And
Yeah, I would have
the cool
loved to
thing,
seen. I would have loved to seen of like Jack and David like reuniting as their dead selves and going off into the afterlife together. Finishing their hike through Europe that they started all those weeks ago.
uh,
Um,
you wanted a freeze frame, huh?
Not really a freeze frame, but just like you got wolfed up David and super dead Jack, and
That's true.
they just get to have some kind of closure and like, oh, okay, hey, we're moving on. We did it. All the other undead people get to have a little smile on their face as they melt off or whatever. But just something that lets you know they made it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean,
But maybe
without
you don't need
further,
that kind of hope in these horror movies.
well, there's plenty of them that have hope. You'll get to see plenty of different endings, I promise. Fortunately or unfortunately for you. But man, I like this movie. I like this movie a lot. There's not much. The only like real gripe I have is uh David. And it's not a I don't know. Almost like I said with Midsummer being too long, it's not much of a gripe. He's not like he's not bringing the cast down or anything, you know what I mean? It's not my style. But I got a 4.5 on it. I love me some American Werewolf in London. I think it's a great film. I think it's a lot of fun. And yeah, man, to me, it's just when I think of like quintessential horror movies, this is one of the ones that first pops into my head. What about you, Steven? Are you gonna just ruin everybody's day right now, or what?
No, I'm not gonna ruin everybody's day. Honestly, like I think one of the other things that I would have liked in this movie is I would have liked a little bit more werewolf lore. Would have liked a little bit more like, oh hey,
Okay.
let's go into what this town's been going through, or let's get more into the backstory of that. Is there a special way to defeat this werewolf? There
Right.
was no mention of any silver bullets or crosses or wooden stakes or any kind of thing in this. So I would have liked
You,
I think that could have added a little bit of pizzazz, but I'm gonna give this one a 3.5. This one was a
okay.
fun movie. It didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of the fun little jokes and just kind of the almost breaking of character with stuff like the the balloons and the weird
Well,
porno interruptions. So yeah, it was definitely a fun movie. So we're gonna go with a solid 3.5.
we have found another movie that has gotten a positive review from C. That's two in a row,
It's
if
not
we're
too
if we're
bad.
counting. You're not really seeming like the hater. I mean, this is kind of a low score, I guess, for this type of movie, but whatever. If
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
hear, I forgot to mention the um, scores from IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Letterboxd, which
Yeah.
I'm sure, as everybody could tell, I had to look up on the dime. My bad. But IMDb, 7.5 out of 10. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 85%, and Letterboxd has it as a 3.8 out of 5. So it's a pretty big. You're still in that range, man. Like it's
So
pretty good.
maybe I
I'm
need a stricter rubric for
that's
these.
no,
Or,
dude. You gotta just say how you feel about it, man. That's
all
the
right.
that's the beauty of it. But without further ado, I wanna jump into our second movie, which is Evil Dead. Uh, I guess we didn't really give any big hints to what the movies were gonna be this week, besides that we're not gonna have any cups. But Evil Dead, it was made in 1981, but it did not get released widely until 1983. It has a runtime of an hour and 25, so just under that hour and a half, which is to me an hour and a half mark for a horror movie is beautiful. I know some people want more. I see some movies and I'm like, please give me less. Cut out all this other stuff and let's just get to the good stuff that I'm here for. It was written and directed by the great Sam Raimi. If you don't know who that is, and you're a millennial, Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire trilogy Spider-Man. And
Real
this is
Spider-Man.
actually yeah, right. To some, the real Spider-Man. To me, also the real Spider-Man. But this is his debut movie, and it's metal as hell. I like this movie a lot. Obviously, we can't talk about this movie without talking about Bruce Campbell, one of the great like horror, I guess, good guy icons. And I don't even know if you can call him a good guy, more of a I wouldn't call him an anti-hero. I don't know what to call the guy. In this movie, he's
The
just just a
Survivor-ish,
survivor.
kinda,
He's a
maybe?
final guy.
The final
That's
guy,
pretty much
yeah.
what Ash Williams, maybe one of like 10 final guys in the history of mankind. But he's great, and also he's in the Spider-Man movies. And a fun tidbit that I found is while he's the one who changes, Spider-Man comes in and he wants to be called the Human Spider, and he's like, "No, that's whack." Uh, Welcome in Spider-Man before he introduces the greatest ode to Macho Man Randy Savage of all time, the Bone Saw. Uh,
Bonesaw.
right. Well, he's in like a couple of the other Spider-Man movies, and they were gonna make him Mysterion
Oh, okay.
or Mysterio. Mysterion's from
Mysterio,
South Park.
okay. Close
Mysterio,
enough.
right,
Alright,
right. Yeah,
close
exactly.
enough.
So if there would have been a Spider-Man 4 from Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell would have been your villain. So that would have been
Right.
kind of cool. It ended up debuting well, debuting. It had a budget of $375,000. It was a hard budget to get a hold of, apparently. They had to beg everybody for it. And
That
fun
wow.
fact, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were like really good friends. They kind of it says they grew up together, but I don't know from what age that really was. But they made like little movies together and stuff like that. So and it went on to gross $29.4 million. dollars.
What a hell of an
27 of
ROI.
I know, right? But 27 of that was overseas, I guess.
You
So
know?
one of the big
That's
things is that it didn't
that
come out
makes
in
sense.
1981 was that everybody was calling it a video nasty, like it's gross, it's horrifying, like there's no reason to have this. Trees are like essaying people and stuff like that. So it got put on the shelf, and then I guess the tale is Stephen King wrote this like glowing review about it, and it got some investors and some people behind it to get the movie theatrical release.
Hmm.
So it did well. It's an awesome movie. I'm glad that he did that because I love this movie. I think it's so fun.
Yeah,
But
this
you know,
movie or
my
the variant of this movie was kinda the idea that, or the thing that may have started this podcast.
absolutely.
Yeah, so back when we were living together, I distinctly remember us having to watch several horror movies. This was one of
Welcome.
the first one. We at least got to have a palate cleanser with like Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
Oh yeah.
but we watched I think it was the newer version of Evil Dead, and
Yeah.
I could not stop just at these people on the screen about all of the stupid stuff that they were doing. And this one was much of the same. So I'll let you kind of give us your
Sure.
summary.
Before I forget this time, the scores that they gave on this movie, 7.3 from IMDb out of 10. You got an 84% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So it's pretty far up there as far as a horror movie goes, and it's a classic. But my summary of this movie is like so many others that followed it. You got a bunch of college students. There's five in this one. They go to an isolated cabin on vacation, and as they're screwing around and playing games and stuff like that, somebody gets curious. They go downstairs. Not somebody. I think it's both of them in this one. Go downstairs and they find the Book of the Dead and this mysterious tape recorder.
Necronomicon.
Endronomicon, and it's got this tape recorder from some archaeologist, and they start listening to it, and everything just flipped on its head, and it becomes just a survival movie for Ash Williams and company. Spoilers. You can drop the company from that.
Yeah.
I mean, what
Extra
do you
spoiler.
think?
You can drop
Oh,
Ash from that at the end. So,
yeah, yeah, it's true. So, what
nobody
do you think
escapes
about
the devil.
what do you think about this movie?
This one was one that also just kind of um it just, and this is, I accept this is 100% a personal thing, but it just annoys me from a decision making standpoint of the characters in this movie. Where I get, let's do a budget Airbnb. Let's find some place on the cheap. Let's do a simple vacation. I've
Yeah,
done, it's like I've done some white trash vacations on a rental house at the lake. Uh,
yeah.
so nothing
I've
wrong with
stopped
it.
by a Ramada Inn.
Actually, yeah, we've I've stayed there before. Um, there might that place felt like a horror movie. But yeah, so this was one that just really frustrated with me with the decision making of the characters. And also just not being able to figure out what is going on. Like it takes a surprisingly long time for these guys. I'm listening to cues. I'm hearing the audiobook. I'm knowing that you need to, dismemberment is the only way that I've found that actually like gets these suckers off my back. It's like, okay, cool. Let's do that. We have a giant axe and we also have a chainsaw. Like, I don't know. Maybe we utilize those tools in our tool belt. But you have a couple of, I think it's a couple of couples and then a random fifth wheel
Yeah, yeah.
running up into the mountains, crossing the sketchiest bridge to a remote little cabin in the woods. Super, super creepy looking from the outside, but from the inside, quite quaint. It
Cozy.
was tidy. It was a
Yeah,
cozy little cabin, and you can imagine some wonderful nights by the fire.
yeah.
The fifth wheel girl, Cheryl, we will call her because that is her name. Cheryl is busy drawing clocks on the wall when all of a sudden the clock stops and the wind forces her to become a human Ouija board, apparently, on her sketchbook. Um, so creepy experience that Cheryl has. Nobody else is really around to see it. They're playing board games, having dinner, doing fun stuff at night, and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden, the basement door, which to this point has been chained shut quite eerily,
Yeah,
bursts open.
as
And what
one
do we
does.
decide to do? Let's go ahead and head on down into the basement. Um, I don't know if this place has electricity. I don't know what the situation is. They take their only flashlight and a gas lantern, go down into this basement where they find a book that is bound in something and looks really, really creepy. Has a lot of. It looks like the devil's sketchbook slash diary.
Do you think
That's.
that it could be bound in human flesh?
I believe that is what they say it is bound in whenever you listen to the
Okay.
recording. So it is bound in human flesh. Speaking, this is just, if you're coming into this situation, you don't know what this stuff is bound in, but you
Sure.
know that when you open it up and you look through it, you see a bunch of pictures of the devil and he's doing devilly things. And then you also see a picture of what looks like the book with a face. And so, I don't know, maybe that's not one book to add to your 75 hard routine. Like, let's leave that one on the shelf. Or maybe we salt and burn it. Come on, guys. Have we not watched Supernatural? I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter as a kid, but my parents were like totally cool with Supernatural. Really weird. But they also find a shotgun, which could be handy. And they find what appears to be a demon killing saber. Um, they bring a few of these items upstairs, and then Cheryl, hearing the wind once again,
Mhm.
call to her, makes the just insane decision to just girl boss through the woods in the dead of
Yeah.
night by herself. She don't need no man. Um, and and then unspeakable things happen at the hands or at the limbs of a tree. Um, that's one thing that I did remember from the from the movie that we watched, the later
Right.
version of this. That's that is a I guess an iconic scene in this movie. Um, and here I thought that Cheryl was the smart one because she was the one that said, "Hey, let's not go down into the basement. Why don't we chain this thing back up? Seems like a great idea." And she's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, actually, I think we should leave." Also a great idea.
Great
These
idea.
are once again, she's killing it with the ideas
Yeah.
until nightfall, and then she's like, "I'm just gonna go off into the woods." So she comes back in a huff. Um,
Yeah.
they do the you get the classic horror movie, "I can't get the key in the door," scene. So, great job with that. Also, skeleton keys for the cabin.
Yeah, you caught that,
Are we renting a
huh?
cabin in the year I thought it was like 1981, not like
Yeah.
981. Um,
Not an idiom. All right.
but yeah, that should have been
All
your
right.
first red flag, guys. Like, I mean, if you can discount the sketchy bridge because, what kind of American infrastructure is taken care of nowadays? Sketchy bridges
Yeah.
are a thing everywhere.
All
But
right.
the skeleton key to get into your cabin in the woods, yeah, red flag number one, y'all. So Cheryl comes back. She's a little bit frazzled,
Out of
naturally.
sorts. Yeah.
She's out of sorts, and she's like, "Hey, I want to get out of here." They try to leave. The bridge is gone. They run back to the house, and then you have Cheryl becoming possessed.
Mm.
She becomes at first a really good magician. She's able to guess those cards, just like lickety split. Turns into a demon, very obviously a demon. And based on if anybody had been listening to the audiobook that we all listened to earlier,
Oh.
they might have picked up on what's going on. Oh, hey, maybe this Book of the Dead, maybe this Latin incantation that we played in the dead of night, um, maybe that has awoken some kind of spirit.
You're telling
Perhaps
me that you don't like the who done aspect thrown into you?
the who done it aspect. Yeah, who
Yeah.
who could have done this? I don't know. Satan.
Who's, who's done
It's
this to
pretty
us?
obvious culprit. We don't need to demask this guy at the end of the episode. Um, but no, so she's very obviously a demon
Right.
doing crazy demony stuff. The head's going nuts.
Mm.
Projectile vomiting, the whole nine.
Right.
Classic demon stuff.
Classic demons.
Scotty even has the axe ready to go. And it's
Right.
like, "Oh, hey, Scotty, are you going to remember this for the quiz? This is the quiz, bud. Do you remember the reading? The reading about dismemberment?
Oh yeah.
Maybe we apply that. Yeah, let's
Okay.
let's let's do that." Nope, not going to do that. We're just gonna just kick her down back into the basement. We're gonna shut that door. We're gonna ignore it. We're just gonna shove it down, much like I do with my problems. We're just shoving it down. We're just forgetting about it. We're
you
just gonna,
never
hey guys, we'll pack up in the morning. We'll leave in the morning.
you never want to make the third or fifth wheel feel bad though, right? Like they're already there without a spouse. Is that really the first one we got to hatch it up
Look,
right now or
as someone who has been a professional third, fifth, seventh, sometimes even ninth wheel, um, you gotta get over it. And
okay.
so it's crazy. But anyway, somehow Emily, I believe is her name, is able to sleep. Uh, so which I don't know how that's possible. Like if
Yeah.
this is me, like if you and I
Okay.
are are with our ladies in a cabin in the
Okay.
woods,
Okay.
this whole Cheryl thing goes down. Like we're finding every ounce of salt in that house. We're grabbing the shotgun. We're grabbing the freaking demon spear. And we're burning that book. Like that's step
True.
one. We're
Step one.
burning that book immediately.
Burn book.
Which actually ends up helping at the end. Spoiler alert. But
What?
I mean, as much as things could be helped in this situation.
right.
So, uh, Cheryl's trying to crawl out of the basement door, and Scotty is just like, Shelly, go get some sleep. Um, she is she is promptly possessed by a demon as well. Attacks Scott, who throws her into the fire, and then saves her from the fire so that she can attack him more.
Yeah.
Um, Ash, meanwhile, has his arm perpetually stuck in a bookshelf. Like it is just wedged into this thing on the floor. He has
Right.
no sense of how to turn his body to get out of here. He keeps just like pressing forward. It's like when a dog has a stick in their mouth and they're trying to get through a door. It was very frustrating to watch. I was just like, Ash, just roll the other way, man. Like, you can pull your arm out. Scott
Impossible.
stabs the demon with the sword, and it seems to work really well until it doesn't. But then they finally take the advice of the audiobook and
Mm.
hatchet this demon into multiple pieces.
Yeah.
After all this, they still have not figured out what is going on. Still have
Mhm.
no idea what's happening. I can't believe. You know what? We gotta wait till morning.
That's right.
Um, and we'll figure out what to do. So they're like, you know what we should do after all of this, we should go outside and just bury Shelley. We're just gonna go outside.
Yeah.
That seems to be a place where great things happen in this scenario.
It's the
Um,
right. It's the
Scott
right thing to do.
is Scott's finally had enough of it, which I can understand being at this level. And he's like, you know what? I'm out. But once again, he's outside where the
Yeah.
demons are. That's where everybody's getting messed up, man. You're not you didn't even take the shotgun. So Scott runs off, immediately has to come back because he's been turned as well, or he's been attacked at least. Um and they're still just like trying to find a way to get out of this. Uh Emily has been possessed too. Scott comes back and he is clearly turned into something. None of these people can see the differences in makeup that we get to see as an audience, apparently. Um, he can't bring himself to shoot his girl, or maybe it was Linda. Was it Linda? That's what it was. It was Linda.
Yeah.
Um, and then she plays with his emotions, just back and
Mm.
forth. Am I a
Mm.
normal girl? Am I a demon? He
Yeah.
falls for it. He falls for it
Mhm.
like just a dumb man. Just oh yeah, she puts on the soft voice and the pretty eyes, and you
Yeah.
just fall for it. Um, and then he she Cheryl puts on like a normal voice from the basement, uh, and they also fall for it. So he just like he puts one of the demons outside for like a timeout,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and then he's still trying to save Scott and like thinking that they're gonna go home. He's like
Yeah.
feeding water into his mouth. He's just like, It's gonna be great, man. Whenever we get back from Nam, we're gonna go to the McDonald's.
It's all right.
Everything's gonna be okay. Meanwhile, Scott is deteriorating very quickly in front of him.
Yeah.
Still trying to save Scott. Scott's gone, man. And then Linda gets back in, and she has the demon sword. Like, first off, why do you let that out of your possession? That's absolutely crazy.
Got to
So
keep that
he,
in your inventory.
yeah, incapacitates this girl, decides to dismember her with a chainsaw because it looks like he's finally learned. My gosh, imagine that. Can't do it. He's like, you know what? We're gonna bury her whole instead. She immediately pops out of the ground and starts tearing up his leg.
Yeah.
He's able to cut off her head with a shovel, which was a fun scene, if
Yeah.
nothing else. He's able to cut off her head with a shovel. Uh, Comes back into the house. Basement's empty. Cheryl's gone. She's somewhere. Never know where she is.
Right.
Uh, Also, he didn't get all the shotgun shells, so he has to go back into the
Mm.
basement for more shotgun shells. Gets absolutely just drenched in blood
Yeah.
by a leaky pipe. Seeing all kinds of crazy demon stuff. Somehow able to get back up. Intense battle with all three of these demons. Finally is able to get the book onto the fire. Everyone melts. Sun rises. he exits the house worn but victorious, and then just gets one-shotted by the devil. So
Yeah.
happy ending for everyone.
Very happy ending.
Yeah,
One of the things I really like about this movie, kind of like the last movie we talked about, was it's got, I mean, like they're outdated now, but the effects are pretty good for this time and stuff like that. I thought the effects were fine. Like,
I appreciated the
uh,
effects for the most part. There were some really, really funny ones, though.
yes. At the
The
end,
like Demon Cheryl popping up from the window,
oh yeah.
just like it looks like there's like that arcade game where you throw the balls at the clowns and they have like the fuzzy hair on the outside, and then they'll just like pop back up. Like that's what it reminded me of.
It was made
And
for
it's just
only thousands.
it was made for thousands. Yes, the budget was not as great, but that sent me laughing my ass off multiple
And
times where they had those jump scares. I was just like, this
What,
is
what
this
did
is
you think
great.
about Ash? Did you like Ash? Was he annoying? Was he too much? What do you think about
He wasn't
Ash?
too much in the end. He was just a little bit dumb. It's just like,
Yeah,
you're clearly in this group dynamic. You're clearly the lead. You're clearly the alpha out of these two guys. Scott likes to pretend that he's the alpha and be a big man, but let's be honest. Like we know who's in charge. And it's just like, hey, you know, maybe just maybe when you find a demon book. You just like let's make an executive decision and let's hit a hotel. Let's do that. You know what?
with
We're
with
gonna
the demon book.
no 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 no.
Oh, okay,
Once
okay.
again, salt, burn the demon book. That's step one.
Step one.
You close the basement. You
Step
lock it
two.
with the chains again. You know
Still part
what?
of step two.
Bring ring of salt around the basement just for good measure.
All right.
Lock the door with said skeleton key.
Skeleton keys.
We're chucking the keys off the sketchy bridge once we leave that place.
Okay.
And then we're going to the nearest church, and we're just
Just
gonna
hanging
have a
out.
group prayer. Just gonna quick group prayer. That's what we're gonna do. Then
Right
we can go
on.
continue our
Uh,
vacation somewhere else.
right.
Maybe we're camping
Unfortunately,
now, guys.
not in those woods. I'm not.
Not in those woods. We're camping somewhere much farther away. But
Not even
yeah,
the branches can reach you.
nope.
Did
But
you
yeah,
did
at
you
least
hate that
first
scene
night.
again?
What?
Did you hate
Yeah,
that
it
scene again?
was. I mean, it was uncomfortable, which granted, it's a horror
Right,
movie. It's supposed to be uncomfortable.
right, right.
But when the branches start like pulling her legs apart, I'm just like, oh
You're
man,
right, yeah.
come on.
I think that's how everybody felt. Oh,
Yeah. And then it
that's
was
not gonna
just like
happen.
just it was really aggressive, just
Yeah.
drunk.
Ah,
So I'm
yeah.
surprised that didn't cause more blunt force trauma. Like, how was she able to walk? That's
Demon. Now a demon.
I guess it makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a demon.
What are you gonna do? Well, look, I'm high on this movie. Uh, Evil Dead isn't my favorite franchise, but it's got kind of everything I'm looking for on a Friday night horror movie. Much like the last one, when I think about horror movies and I think about classics, I saw in a couple different spots that this was called a cult classic, and while that might have been true because of, the release and stuff like that, as it's known today, there's just no way. It's not a cult classic anymore. This is a big IP with another one on the way this summer. So while it's not my favorite Evil Dead movie, I still really like it. And yeah, we got the 4-star rating on it. I think it's a fun movie to watch. I at least watch it once a year. So I am interested in what yours is though, because it didn't sound like you hated it too much, but it did sound like
It was
you
another
got
one that was funny enough in those spots for for me to get through it. It was not as unbearable as the street trash saga.
okay.
Uh, So
It's nowhere near
I
that. Yeah.
we don't have that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one like Midsummer where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm locked into this. So the funny little bits kept me in enough with those frustrating parts where I'm just like, dude, you have a shotgun. Um,
He uses it. He uses the
like
shotgun.
if I find a shotgun in the basement of that cabin, this is once again granted that I have not left already and I've gone
Right.
down into said basement. We're bringing the demon killing sword because at this point I think I'm gonna need it. We're
But,
bringing the shotgun and we're bringing every shell in that basement up there. And then yeah, once again,
uh,
salt and burn
I
the
don't
book.
know. I don't remember that being part of step one. Step one is burn the book.
Step one is burn the book. Yes. But once again, you're not gonna just you have that stuff up there. If here's the thing, if I'm at a cabin in the woods and like there's a shotgun in the basement, it's like, okay, you know what? This we're at a cabin in the woods. Like we might need to pepper a bear if something
Sure.
gets too close. Let's just have this for wildlife, not even for
Yeah.
supernatural phenomenon that you awake by playing a tape recorder.
Yeah.
Uh, which yeah, that's another thing. As soon as I hear that Latin,
Boom.
it's going off. We're done with that. We are done with that. It's like we're
Okay.
not letting that one play out. No, thank you.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? What is it? What's it gonna be for you?
We're gonna be generous because I know the horror fans are out there, and I don't want them coming for me
Generous.
this early.
Generous.
We're gonna give it a solid three. A
All
solid
right.
three. This is one that I could see myself watching again, but it would have to be in a group setting, and I'm gonna have some shit to say. So just heads up, there's gonna be a little bit of commentary.
Sure.
Little bit of director's commentary with this one, y'all.
No
Um,
one's gonna want to watch this movie with you if you do that.
hey, that might be part of my strategy for not having to watch this movie again.
All right, not bad. I mean, hey, that's three positive. I mean, this is no longer horror and the hater. You know what I mean?
All right, we're gonna have to find
We love it.
some better
No, we're
ones.
gonna keep rolling these classics. I'm actually, you know what? I'm really glad that you're enjoying these movies that you haven't seen before, and hopefully, when we do get to the bad ones, I mean, obviously get after it. But I'm really actually happy to see that even on like these classics, these ones that kind of everybody is like, yeah, it's a good movie or whatever, that you're not completely
I
down
also want
on
to
it.
give them their
So
flowers as a movie
yeah,
and
there you
not
go.
just as a horror movie. Because
Sure.
once again, the theater kid in me respects the art form and the work that goes into something like this.
Hell yeah.
There's just yeah, some of it I don't really vibe with.
Okay. So I gotta ask, man, are you surviving the werewolf attack?
um,
I'm already dead. It's just not working. I'm out of there.
here's the thing. In that scenario, uh, then I'm David, and I'm in a coma in London now, hooking up with
Oh.
some hot London nurse trying to warn people that I'm a werewolf. So I don't think I'm surviving this either.
Oh.
If
What a surprise. Neither one of us would survive a werewolf attack.
yeah,
How could
no.
that ever happen?
Now, granted, I probably wouldn't have dipped off the road in the middle of the night backpacking through Europe with no GPS.
I,
Um,
I,
but
well,
these are you never know where the werewolf is going to strike. So I feel like the
that's
only safe
true.
place would have been that bar, but that bar didn't feel like a very safe place.
That bar was
The
not a
way
safe place
the
for
way everybody
anybody.
was looking at it. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't survive the werewolf. I mean, do you survive the Book of the Dead? The demons? The possession?
100% of 'em.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
well, let's
because
hear
once
how.
again, we're
Step one.
salting and burning it immediately, and we've already gone through the strategy on this one. I already spoiled my strategy. Um, I'll go back if you want me to. I'll edit it in again. But no, I don't play around with demon shit, man. That is in real life. Like if somebody's like, "Hey, we want to break out a Ouija board," Yeah, no, that's not happening. Get that the hell out of here, man. What are you doing? Like, you cannot be shocked if something like this happens whenever you're playing with stuff like that. That's like being like, oh man, I was just smoking to look cool, not to get lung cancer. It's like, it
Uh,
doesn't work like that. So
well,
we're not
join us
playing
now.
around with the Book
Jo-
of the Dead.
Join our Patreon now to watch Steven play with the Ouija board.
Hell
I'm
no.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that tier is going to be, there's no amount of money.
Look, I just wanna say I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Um, it's not because I like playing with Ouija boards or books of the dead or listening to tape. Sometimes you ever get that point where you're like listening to something and you mishear what they say and you're like, "Oh, am I having a stroke?" I feel like right when the Latin would start playing, I'd be like, "Oh, wait. Oh no, that's not good." And then by that time it's over. Like I'm like, "Oh, well, what do we
And then
do
you're like,
now?"
wait a second, hold on, let me rewind that. I want to just be sure this is what I was thinking it was.
Right.
Or or you would just start making fun of the pronunciations of the Latin words.
Oh
It's like,
no.
oh, what is yeah, no,
Yeah.
you just
Uh
hear a bunch of garbage words in there and start making jokes about it. And
yeah, it
then
wouldn't
what
be
would
good.
happen? The
Dead.
devil would come and possess your body. You just get
Yeah. Yeah.
prelim
Base.
right up the butt.
Oh, come on. Come on. That'd be the new basement dweller. Basement of the cabin.
Yep.
Dude, that sucks. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's honest though. I mean, I don't think I'm making it out of that one. So. Dude, once again, I mean like these two movies, I was kind of scared to bring them to you because I was like, "Oh man, if he hates these movies, like what's wrong with him, you know?" But I'm glad you don't I'm glad you don't hate him, man. That's good news. I'm actually stoked.
Well, hey, I'm glad that I can not be as big of a hater, but I'm sure we'll find something for me to really really hate on. But no, these were watchable movies
Yeah.
for sure. You know, probably not on my list of ones that I would just watch again solo whenever I'm hunting around for a movie or something. But in the right situation, I can see these being ones that I'll end up seeing again at some point.
I mean, look, around the Halloween season, we're going to be hitting some heavy Halloween hitters, but could you see yourself watching an Evil Dead movie or this Evil Dead movie during that season? Does this one scream Halloween to you, or is this more of a summer camp movie for you?
I don't know if it really screams Halloween, other than
Sure.
just the general demon stuff and dead stuff. Um, but yeah, no, I can't really tell you when I would. It would probably
Okay.
this movie I'll watch again whenever you drag me into watching it. Whenever we're hanging out, so that's
Deal. Hey,
guarantee you that's gonna be how it happens. And then
hey.
we're gonna have to watch Tucker and Dale right
Oh,
after.
I've
So,
got I've got plenty of movies for you to see, so don't worry about me making you watch this one while there's so many others you haven't seen. Um,
all right,
you
cool. I
know,
might escape never having to watch it again.
all I'll say is there's a lot more Evil Dead to come. I don't know that we'll slam you with Evil Dead every week, but with the new movie coming out, I mean, we got to get through them. We got to make sure Steven sees all of them. We got to see if he even likes the franchise because we
Guess
made
I
it to
gotta get
this
caught
one.
up.
People loved this movie, and he gave it a 3. So,
Three.
uh, doesn't bode well for maybe the rest of the franchise. But hey,
Does it only
I
go downhill? Is it like
no.
Spider-Man 3?
Here's the only thing I'll tell you, because I don't want you to, I don't want to, you know, mess with your decision making or anything, but some of these movies are going to get way more slapsticky and actually be funny and mean to be funny, and some of them are serious. So there's going to be kind of two sides of the coin. You're either going to be like, oh, you know what? These ones that take themselves more serious, I like those more. Or you're going to be like, I like the ones that are off the fucking rails and just kind of are wild and insane, you know. And Bruce Campbell does a really good job in all the ones he's in, whether that's the version of Bruce Campbell you want or not. But yeah, and I'm not gonna make you watch it, but if you want to check out the TV show after we're done, I mean, whatever.
Ooh, whoa, that's
Ah,
that would That would definitely be
Yeah.
a Patreon thing. I would need to be paid.
Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
like a TV
Well,
show. Oof.
I'll tell you this. Me personally, I recommend both of these movies. If you haven't already seen it, which again, I just don't think, you're gonna want to watch these. These are essential to you viewing horror movies. These are the ones that walked so the rest of these movies could run, especially, the isolated cabin, teenagers in the woods, stuff like that. I mean, this is one of those movies. And American Werewolf in London, creature features. I mean, we're still talking about one of the better creature features of all time, even this many years later. So, for me, both of these, highly recommend you take a look at it. Steven, are you recommending these movies or what?
So here's what I'll do. I'll make a recommendation of like, should you watch this if you're not a fan of horror movies?
Sure.
And so, Evil Dead, no. If you are not a fan of horror movies, there's really no redeeming qualities for you.
You gave it a positive review, though.
I gave it a positive review because I was laughing a lot, but once I think some other people might not laugh as much as me.
So it
But
earned, okay, so it earned it for
but
you.
yeah, it earned it for me on keeping me entertained and some of the the good practical effects that they did. But American Werewolf in London, if you're not a horror movie fan, I think you would enjoy this movie. It's one that is it's fun. It is old or an old movie, so it is kind of clunky at times and feels a little bit a little bit weird, but it's a fun movie and it's one that's also quick. You don't really have to get super invested in it, and
Yeah.
also once it ends, you just don't have to be invested anymore. Like so, if you want just something fun, uh, for an hour and a half, American Werewolf in London, you might check it out.
I would like to say, kind of keeping with what I said last week about movies that you throw on in the background. American Werewolf in London, if you just have it on at the house party or something, I mean, it's nice. It
Yeah,
looks good.
sweet. All right. Well, we successfully have gotten through now 5 horror movies. This is,
Five, three with positive reviews from the hater.
yeah. So,
So pretty
all
incredible.
right.
Well,
We're
thanks for joining us on Horror and the Hater, and we'll check you later.